At this moment in Congress, there is a hearing with Secretary of State Antony Blinken in reference to the September 1st, 2021 retreat from Afghanistan, which abandoned American citizens in Afghanistan. One of the members of Congress addressing this directly is Representative Mills, who's very upset about this.
Secretary Blinken, are you familiar with USC 22, Section 4802?
More directly, he's speaking about Section B, which deals with the evacuation of American citizens. Potentially is a violation by the Biden-Harris administration.
Basically, your obligation in order to try and protect and provide security and safety for American citizens. Now, in one of your statements, you said we did not leave Americans behind.
This is something that Antony Blinken and Joe Biden had said, that they would not leave Americans behind. In fact, in a conversation with ABC News and George Stephanopoulos on August 18th of 2021, Joe Biden was asked what would he do if American citizens were still in Afghanistan. Joe Biden stated with clarity that he would remain in Afghanistan, that American troops would remain in Afghanistan until those Americans could be evacuated. But on August 31st, Joe Biden admitted to America and the world that he was leaving Americans behind. Joe Biden stated that he would leave behind between 100 and 200 Americans, having gotten 90% of all Americans out of Afghanistan. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, for his part, stated that there were under 200 Americans being left behind. This is a violation of 22 USC 4802, Section B, in addition to being a violation of the promise Joe Biden made to the American people. And as we will hear in the conversation with Representative Mills, the Biden administration and Secretary Blinken knew there were at least 500 Americans that were left behind.
Well, see, unlike other members on this, I actually went overseas and was conducting rescues of Americans left behind in Afghanistan. I actually conducted the very first successful overland rescue of Americans that were left behind, which was Miriam and her 3 children. These are Amarillo, Texas, American-born natives, who was at the front gate waving their passport, trying to get inside, while we were on the phone, myself and Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, trying to get your State Department task force to let them inside. You're telling me you didn't leave them behind?
I'm telling you, Congressman, that we got every American out that we could, and when we got completed the evacuation, I said we're not leaving anyone behind. We're to keep doing this until we get every American who says they want to leave and identify themselves to us out.
I want to be very clear about this. As reported by the Washington Times on March 23rd of 2023, that there were at least 175 Americans still being held in Afghanistan, being held by the Taliban. Secretary of State Antony Blinken admitted that there were over 975 Americans who had been evacuated from Afghanistan after telling the American people there were less than 200 Americans left behind. And with the conversation with Representative Mills, Antony Blinken is now about to state Biden administration got 500 Americans out.
So
500 between...
Well, I'm reclaiming my time. You also told Congressman Davidson that the U.S. government was not blocking aircraft. Is that correct?
I have no knowledge of the U.S. government.
Yet my aircraft, who had 5 approved PPRs, which are prior permission required landings, to HKIA to rescue 28 Americans, was denied 5 times, saying that it was at the behest of the Department of Defense and the Department of State to prevent us from coming in to rescue Americans. That was what was told to us over the radio from the ATC towers. But yet, to your knowledge, no one was being blocked. Let me tell you, that is a farce and it's a complete lie.
A farce and a lie. And in multiple videos that we have covered both on Afghanistan and Antony Blinken, the truth remains that the American people have been lied to repeatedly. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the Biden-Harris administration lied to the American people to their face, abandoned American citizens in Afghanistan, as well as in the Sudan, as well as in Ukraine, as well as in Haiti. The record has been a violation of 22 USC 4802 Section B and the direct harm of American citizens. Should this be followed up as a crime? What do you think?